Alright, welcome back. This is going to be the third video for Unit 8, all about aquatic and terrestrial pollution for AP Environmental Science. This video will be about endocrine disruptors. This is going to be a fairly brief video because it's not a huge in-depth section, but endocrine disruptors basically mimic hormones that cause overstimulation, or they can bind to a receptor in a cell and block the real hormone, which can stop the response. The basic way, or the simplest way to think about it, is that they have these like puzzle pieces on them, right? So the receptors on the cell will only receive a certain type, right? The problem is a hormone has this shape, but there are endocrine disruptors that can have the exact same shape, and they can actually bond. They can block the hormones from coming in, or they can cause overstimulation because basically there's a response from the receptor because it thinks that it's getting it. So some of the suspected endocrine disrupting chemicals include metals, industrial chemicals, synthetic and naturally occurring hormones, pharmaceutical drugs, pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, and personal care products. Now, pharmaceutical drugs kind of makes sense. Most pharmaceutical drugs exist just specifically because they're supposed to do this. You know, they're trying to not let an overstimulated hormone work. But obviously when they are released into water or terrestrial pollution, then you get problems because humans might get endocrine disruptors when they're not supposed to. So this is a little very basic idea of it. But essentially in a normal cell, you have normal hormones that are received by hormone receptors that end up sending to the nucleus to cause a cellular response. But a hormone mimic can actually cause that cellular response, which then maybe causes an overstimulation. On the other end, you might have a hormone blocker, which blocks the hormones from getting in, which stops the process of a cellular response. So this would be a blocking. If you remember from back here, you might have overstimulation, or you might have a stop of the response in general. So some examples of those endocrine disruptors, just looking at the dioxins, if you remember, you know, nitrogen dioxide, phthalates, which can exist in like rubber, flame retardants, phenols, which are alcohols, polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs, pesticides, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, which exist in farms. These are typically used as fertilizers a lot of times. And then phytoestrogens, which can come from plants. That is the end of this video. Our next video is going to be about human impacts on wetlands and mangroves.